Good evening, everyone. I am Naveen Kumar, and this is the day 5 of MERN series, wherein I'll show you how we can basically assign the token to the authenticated user, and each authenticated user will get their required unique token to basically create an auth system in our database. So let's begin this. Initially, we'll use the package called JWT for to assign the token. And yesterday I've already shown you that how we can basically create our registration route and the login route. And today we'll but before going to the JWT and assign that token, I'll show you something that how that if I created any route, uh, it should store my data. So I'll let me walk you through my screen first. Let me share it once. So yeah, let me go to my MongoDB atlas. So I can show you that I'll show you something that yesterday I've already used Postman to log in this basically register for this for the purpose when we initially register something any user then it should get stored in my database. Then uh, so let me just log in first. Then I'll show you that it is in my database. We can so let's log in. And this Mongo Atlas is also token based because every time when you come up to open this website, you will see that you have to log in every time because it is token based and your token is expired once in a specific time. It will give you for a specific time duration to access your login. And once you're not using your Mongo Atlas, then it will make you log in. So yes, I'll go to my database initially, and then I'll say it should, yeah. This is the browser collection wherein our every database, basically this browse collection where till this point, each collections which I've already created, it will show me here. So I'll click on this browser collection, and when I when I open this, and yeah, you can see this that there is book management app named. This is a collection kind of directory wherein my user wherein this is a kind of database, by the way. Book management app is nothing but a database wherein I've created a collection users, which I've already shown you when we create the user schema and we pass it in the user model. And when this is kind of a folder or kind of a directory wherein your users data gets stored every time when you register. So if I open this, yeah, you can see this that this is the username that is Darshana and her email name and the encrypted password, which is hashed, but with the help of the bcrypt is already stored here. And right now I'm just basically using this as a data in my database to store it. And once I log in, based on this email address and the password, it will compare it, and then it will give me that login access. And that's how we were able to log in yesterday. But today, I'll show you something that how we can basically assign the token. And once we are done with the token assigning, then further I'll show you that we'll learn something how we can basically teach how each user can create their own notes or basically books, and they can only delete their own books. Otherwise, I mean, if I'm the user, I can only create my books. I cannot access someone else's books and to delete their books. So we'll learn it as soon as we go move further. So let's begin this journey. Uh, let's start. So today's agenda is that we need to assign the token to the each user once the user is logged in. Send the token as the ID card. Uh, so let's see how we can basically use it. So I need to for that I need to open my user router here, and I need to check that if 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 my user is registered already, if then I need to be very precise enough here that once the user is registered and once they try to log in, they need to we need to check that if our user is existed in our database or not. This is just a recap to pass the token. So I'll say if my user is existed in my database, then I'll simply check its existence, and then I'll simply compare their password with whatever the password they provide in the form, and then I'll compare it with the encrypted password, which is the existing password in my database. And after then, I'll simply, if the user is, if the password is correct, then I should, what I should tell the user that user is logged in successfully. But before logged in, here I can say I need to pass the token as well. I need to pass the token to the user that yes, you are authenticated, and now you can access your own resources, only your resources, not someone else's. So for that, we'll use this package called JWT. There is a package called JWT to pass the token. So we'll use this package, and how we can use this. Let's go to the documentation and we'll see how we can check the how we basically assign that token. We don't need to remember anything. We just need to go to the documentation and we need to install it. This is how we can install the package. So I'll copy this and I'll go to my terminal and I'll say player and I'll install this. So now you can see that this package is called installed by already. And how can we sure about it, that we can simply go to the package.json and check the dependency here, that whatever the package we installed, it will provide us the dependency of that particular package. So now I can simply see this JSON web token here, that it is installed and this is the version of its package. And every time it gets updated, and you can simply just check that it says that how we can use it, that it says that the jwt.sign, it takes three arguments. That is first the payload, and the second one is your security or private key. Whatever the private or security key you want to pass here, you can only access that private key, not otherwise. And the option is the optional thing is that that is the third argument. But we can assign a callback function to access any error, and we further move with it is basically for the asynchronous operations. And if you want to access it and you want to access it in the asynchronous manner, you can also do that. But let's see how we can basically assign the token. So it says that there is a synchronous sign the default, and this is the syntax of it to assign token to the user once they are authenticated. And there is one more thing, that we can also assign an algorithm, which is nothing but the algorithm which converts our which basically provide us to encrypt our password, and we can simply use it as to assign the token. And this is asynchronous syntax. We can use this as well, and we can also use this as well. But for us, but we are developers. We need to be very specific that how we can basically simplify our code base, and how we can make our code lines how we can reduce our code. So to be very specific, I need to first import this. So I'll go to my user router, and let me just run my server first and then run there. Okay, so my server is start, and now I need to simply just paste it here. Now I'm able to import the JWT here, and I can simply just copy this syntax from here. You don't need to remember anything. You just need to copy this. You just need to know how you can basically check the documentation, how you can basically explain those things in your own manner. And that's the only key for a developer. They don't need to basically keep the burden of to remember or keep the baggage of remembering anything, because every time technology gets updated, and you don't need to be worried about it. You just need to be aware of it. And how you can be aware of it, you can simply just go to the documentation and check those things and read it simply. So we'll see. Let's move on to the topic, that is to assign the token. How we can assign the token? I need to simply paste this here, paste the token, and I'll use this const keyword, that token, that is jwt.sign, and it takes one payload. So based on this is just a random payload, and we can assign anything. But for now, for today, I'll only assign something which is nothing but the course, or let's say I'll say book, and pass let's say Harry Potter, or let's say library. library. This is a book library, and we can okay, this is this is the payload that I'm basically sending it in the form of token, and here I need to pass the security key. But if you are sending any security key, you need to be make sure one thing. Keep in mind that your security key is also private, and it should be private. So you need to and when it comes to store your private things, you need to be very secured about it, and you need to take care about your privacy. So I'll say security. So I'll store it here, security key, and I'll say, let's say Masai. Just a second, Masai. And now I can simply just copy this, and I'll go to my user router, and I'll simply just import it by using process.env dot security. And to import it, to access this basically environment variables, I need to import one more thing, that is the .env. So I'll say require, and I'll say .env dot config, and now I can access this token. And how we can be sure, how can I show that my token is assigned, and how can I see that token? So I'll say, what I need to do is, the next step is to, when you are done with, when you have created the token, when you assign the token, you need to show it as the, you need to send it as the response as well. So I'll say token, and now I'm done. I need to pass the comma here. Okay, just a second. I think I've already sent it in the message. So I'll say, I'll use the comma, and yeah, I need to send it. And let's see if it is working or not. So once I log in with this, if I hit this login button, now I'm able to see that user is logged in successfully, but I'm not able to see my token. Let's debug it. So I'll just cut this, and I'll pass a comma. Okay, so I need to pass this comma, and I'll say I need to pass in a key value form. So I'll say token. This is the token. Now let's check it again. And if I click on send and I try to log in, okay. So now you can see that I'm able to, when once the user is logged in, they every time they will assign with a unique token. So we can say that they are the unique. We are basically assigning an ID card to the user to access their own resources, and we'll see how they access their, how they can they will access their own resources in the future. Till this point, this is how we can assign the token to the authenticated user. And let's begin with this journey. So I'll end this video with this point, that we were successfully able to create the token. And tomorrow we'll learn that how each user can create their own basically books. And once we are once we are once we move to the further, and we'll learn something new, that how we can pass the middleware to basically access, each user can only access their own books only. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting. And till this point, thank you everyone for listening.